My name is Andrew Scott. I'm founder of user experience agency Stimulate based in Manchester.
I'm Daniel Cookney. I'm a lecturer and freelance designer, and I graduated in 2009.
My name is Hannah Swarbrick and I work in business development executive here at Studio North, and I graduated in 2011.
Yeah, my name is James Court. I graduated in 2011 and I'm a freelance graphic designer. I lend my skills to ITV and Coronation Street, to be more specific.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bolton. I am a creative researcher at Photolink Creative Group and I graduated in 2011.
Yep, I'm Rebecca Ray and I am Head of Social at Photolink Creative Group and I graduated in 2008.
Yeah, it's Rebecca Henderson. I graduated in 2005 and I own a photography business as well as a handcrafted stationery wedding business.
My name is Jake Welsh, creative and managing director of E3 Creative. I studied Design Futures in 2009.
Design thinking for me is about problems, it's about understanding problems, it's about getting to grips with problems, sometimes finding problems, and then answering them, coming to figuring out some kind of solution. Sometimes while identifying problems that people weren't originally aware of.
The whole process of design. So basically getting from the start of a product to the end of it using a creative thought process. To get to the end result, I think with design thinking it doesn't have to be right or wrong, you just have to be able to justify how you got to that result.
Just being aware of design, being aware of what your client wants, being aware of how to convey their needs, you know. Also being aware of like if they need, if they require a certain aspect in their design but they can't quite get it out vocally. Like design thinking helps for you to kind of decipher what they mean and get the best result.
The stage of the design thinking process I enjoy the most is finding the answer. Because you know you don't always have hours sitting on bean bags playing Xbox or ping pong to find the answer to a problem. Sometimes you have to come up with one like that. And it can be the smallest thing, from what are you going to write a blog about today all the way through to thinking up a giant campaign.
The collaboration of ideas is people throwing random ideas, bad ideas, good ideas, putting them all onto pieces of paper and then talking about them and coming out with the best solution, the one that works the easiest, the one that helps the user the most.
For me, which is the best, is by far the start, because it's the part where you are exploring every single avenue. You're doing your competitor analysis, you're doing your market research, you're working out exactly where you want the end product to be. It's the part of the project where you put the DNA into the project, you put the blueprint into the project, and then what you can do is when you've completed the project, you can look back at that and think, wow.
Skills that have been most important that I picked up on Design Futures is probably flexibility and adaptability, not being stuck inside one particular discipline and one area, but being able to kind of look a lot broader and bring in different aspects to a project.
Certainly the art of presentation. I remember our lecturers would always tell us that you need to do presentations because you'll need it in the real world.
It all goes down to awareness, really. I mean, that's what Design Futures does, which I think it's different from what graphic design does. Graphic design prepares you for a certain role, and you'll fulfill that role, you know, if you graduate and get a job or whatever. Whereas Design Futures, it provides you with like an overall knowledge and like a base to start from.
Design Futures was fantastic for me, and the reason for that is because it allowed me to explore the different avenues. It wasn't saying to me, I want you to study Flash and that's what you're going to do. It was, let's tap into development, let's tap into media, let's tap into design, let's tap into content. And I think what that allows you to do is be very versatile and agile for any agency or digital agency, whether production or content production. So I think that allows you, when you first of all apply for a role, an agency, or work in a role in an agency, it means that you've already got a relatively large CV without even working.
The project inspired me the most was still definitely the final year, the Industry Live one, just because it made you think more of using design thinking as a business rather than just a piece of design or something very solitary. It was very much understanding the impact that it has on consumers and businesses and everyone involved in that sort of process. And I really, because I was put in charge of the finance and distribution team, and I was like, I don't know anything to do with that, I have no idea, but I had to be really creative.
Probably the end of year project. The reason for that, it gives you a really good... Universities get a lot of slack, I think, because they get the back broken when it comes to they don't train you for industry. You feel lost when you step into the industry. Where Design Futures last course, it's a case of saying you're at the point now where you're ready for industry. And on the last course, they split you into special departments. You'll have account managers, you'll have production teams, you'll have branding teams, and you work collaboratively in a sense as a small agency. You produce a product, you promote the product.
I think my moment of illumination was when I went to New York to do an internship for 3 months during my second year at uni. It was the scariest thing I've done, but the most exciting.
I guess it's that. I guess it's actually understanding that you can actually have a career with something that you can have fun doing. Something where you can do something completely unexpected. And something which doesn't necessarily have to conform with expectations, but actually works against those expectations and finds its own place.
When I realised I didn't want to be a graphic designer and I wanted to be somebody that specialised in usability, was when I read a book by a guy called Donald Norman called The Design of Everyday Things, when I realised that there's more to design than just how it looks.
Hire a Design Futures graduate because I know that although they don't have a set skill as such and they've not learned that on the degree, such as graphic design or fashion design, I know that they can probably apply themselves to any field because they've learned the process of, well, they've learned design thinking and the process behind it and how to react to different situations and team working.
Because I would know that they would be flexible in the workplace, have a go at anything, and have lots of skills which are relevant to businesses today, and they would be able to help businesses adapt and change according to the climate.
A Design Futures graduate can take a project from a blank canvas and go through all the research and development and turn it into a working design.
To just the wide range of knowledge that they come with, their ability to sort of kind of push things in new directions, which isn't the same. You know, I teach on a number of courses at a number of schools, and it's not always the same to see students who are willing to sort of take those risks and try something new.
They understand research, they understand methodologies, they understand they understand the design process a lot better than, from my point of view, somebody that's just done graphic design or just done web design. They understand the process and they understand team collaboration and they understand how to work together.
This year group shares many characteristics with the previous year group. Interesting people. I'm often surprised to remind myself that some people here are still only 21 because some of the work and some of the dialogues that we can have with them are very informed and very mature, and I think that's to the individual credit of students, and also it's an indication of the intellectual rigour that is the backbone of Design Futures, that generates people who can think as well as do. And I think what we do here is with students, and what I recognise the qualities of students to be, is we produce a very different type of graduate. I think the evidence speaks for itself, and it should become evident in this project when visitors to the event will see the onward destinations of Design Futures graduates. We produce a very different kind of person that can bring an immense amount of value to companies.